All right, real quick before we get to the picks, we asked TJ to do a power rank. Now, the parameters can be whatever you set. So just say what they are, because we wanted to see in this NFC that is loaded, Lions being a part of that. Yes, the Lions are still a good team, win or lose, for some of you softies out there. But it's just simple.
Is that a shot? Another shot?
Not at you.
Yeah, that's
no,
two,
not
that's
at you.
Two
I
nothing,
think
by the way.
I think you and I have found a common ground. I wanted to see.
You got one in.
All that upstate New York education, blah, 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 blah.
It was terrible. The point is, look, rank them out, and what parameters are you using? That's the key.
Yeah, I factor in, like, right here, right now, if some of these teams were matched up against each other this weekend, who do I think would win? And also where I project really the next month and a half to go, leading into the end of December.
Future casting.
Yeah, which meaning, like, I take into effect that teams might be banged up and getting some help back eventually that will continue to rise them.
Number 5.
Number 5, I got Green Bay. I know they've had a couple tough losses, but that defense is a
really good
championship-level defense. And offensively, I think Matt LaFleur is a good enough coach to look in the mirror, change some things up, and get that offense back on track.
Stop running it every first down?
And stop running so much shotgun run. I hate running on 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1 from the shotgun is a fireable offense. There's not much in football that bothers me more than that, but I think that where I project them to be, I think that offense is going to find ways to get better.
Okay, number 4.
Number 4, I got the Seahawks. And this was kind of a weird one, and I know they're sitting at 7-2, but you look at some of their wins, twice against Arizona. You beat Washington, Houston, Jacksonville, New Orleans, and Pittsburgh.
I think the Rams are going to crush them this week.
I kind of agree with you. That's a very intriguing matchup, and I know
I've yet to pick that
are they kind of in the same boat as Philly Lions, where it's like, hey, winner takes a little bit of control here.
Yeah, I know. All of LA would hate me today for saying better win if you want.
Yeah, but see, they get to play again, I think, at the end of the year.
I think you're right. And I think Seattle's a good team, and I think they're kind of like the Rams from last year, where it's like, oh, young defense, like a lot of guys that nobody's really heard of.
But it's a limiting factor. Ginger quarterback.
That's the ultimate factor. I forgot to put that in the parameters.
It's very
as one
important.
of the
number 3.
Number 3, I've got Philly, and that's because I've talked myself into believing in Detroit this week.
I like what you did here. Okay,
I don't know.
The prediction.
Yeah, so I'll get there. I think by, if you look forward to Monday, hopefully these standings stand up. But Philly, like, they're good. They're a damn good team. They're well coached. They're disciplined. They play hard. They're physical. But like that missing piece that we're kind of talking about to start the show off, like there's something that you can't quite put your finger on, that you feel like players are complaining, and A.J. Brown's going out there like, no, like I don't really care anymore if I'm part of the game plan, right? Like there's something that feels like it's going to be a tipping point, and maybe they keep winning, but would I be surprised if something happens again like it did 2 years ago, where it's like, what the hell's going on there? Nobody's happy. Yeah. Everybody's mad. The coaches and the players are.
And maybe the Lions are the team to do it to them.
I can't rule that out.
Yeah,
okay. I can't rule that out. 2, I've got Detroit. Based off one of the parameters that, yes, I do believe that they have the potential right now to be the best team in the NFC. And I know last week, look, nobody's making a big deal about going into Washington and stomping all over them, but it looked much better. It looked different. I think that was a confidence game. And going back to one of the parameters where I expect them to be, you're going to get guys back. DJ Reed's going to come back at some point. Kirby's going to come back at some point. I know Mahogany's going to come back at some point later in the season. You got guys that are going to come back, and maybe it offsets because you're obviously going to have some more injuries at some point. You just hope they're not devastating. But I put them at 2. And number 1, I put L.A. The Rams, just the style of football they play, very similar to the Lions. And just the scheme that they run and the under-center runs and the variation they have in the play-action game. Like, and the defense, man. A lot of these guys just going into year 2 with, Fisk and Jared Verse out on the edge. Like, their defense is young, they're talented, they're energetic, they're physical. They play a really fun style of football to watch.
Devontae
and they've
Adams
got some
impressive.
He's been huge, man. And they've got some impressive wins on their on
they
the
should have beat Philly too.
Yeah, they should have beat Philly, and that was early in the season. But even last week, like San Fran, a team that has kind of been skating by a little bit, with just, hey, find a way to win, man. We don't care what it looks like. They absolutely pounded them. And Matthew Stafford he would be my midseason MVP right now. The level that he's playing with, the confidence that he's playing with, and how much better he is taking care of the football is making his team damn good, man. It's going to be a fun matchup when Detroit has to go out there in about a month or so.
I like your list. I probably would swap out the Lions and Eagles because I do. The Eagles give me a lot of the vibe of Kansas City last year, where been there, done that. We're kind of bored. We know how to win games. We know we're going to do just enough. Okay, we don't need style points. We just need the W, and we'll move on. That's just because when they're winning these games, it was question marks. Like last year, we all kept saying, how do the Chiefs keep winning all these one-score games? How do the Chiefs keep doing this?
Minnesota was like that too. They were like 8-0 in like one-score games.
But Chiefs coming off of a Super Bowl kind of. It's hard to motivate your team. You just won the Super Bowl. Hey, guys, this is a big game. No, it's not, Coach. Super Bowl was a big game. This is just a game.
Yeah, we'll turn it on eventually type attitude. That was the one that I went back and forth on. I just really yesterday, I think I was leaning more towards, Philly, they play the D-line and, they've got some advantages in some certain matchups. But the more I think about it today, the more I watch film, I'm like, this is a gettable team. They're not world beaters. And I think you're walking in, regardless of some of the injuries that you have, with probably the best depth that you've had in the last couple of years. We saw that against Tampa where it's like, who?
Yeah.
Millette and Smollett and
Gillette.
And here's the secondary, and you're like, it doesn't matter.
But here's the thing. I don't want to take away from what they've done
quickly.
But now you got these receivers aren't injured. These receivers aren't out there with one leg, okay? You blow a coverage to Devontae Smith, and he's going to be blowing past you for a touchdown 60 yards down the field.
I went back and forth, but I've kind of talked my way. I know we're going to get to the picks, but I've kind of talked my way into thinking that Detroit's going to have a good chance here Sunday night.
All right, we'll get to the picks next. Thank you for the list. Actually, our top two are the same.
Anything you disagreed with?
No, not really.
Okay.
None of that's going to,
Seattle could bump up. You watch their games and you're like,
ginger quarterback, man.
I like Seattle this week.
Yeah, and they just some of the wins are just like, they look really good, but
ginger quarterback.
Here's the thing.
Arizona,
but on the road,
Houston,
defense travels,
and
they've done it on the road.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun game to watch Sunday afternoon. That's going to be a fun one.